an opportunity to be able to be a part of something that big. It's here I am trying to help a company, and then I get invited to go help a country. There's a stretching that happens there, and you don't go back the same. And now it's like, oh my, this company is little, and I was just trying to help a country grow. But one of the most humbling moments was, each time, we've been in several presidential palaces. And I remember standing in, I think it was Guatemala, the first time we entered the presidential palace. And I'm just looking around going, how in the world did I end up here? Here's a guy that should have been dead, should have been in jail, and I'm standing in a president's palace. And the word says that, your gifts will bring you before a great man. Yeah. And it was because of a pursuit of my gifting that's opened up doors that I simply cannot open on my own. And I know that I'm, there by appointment. And so for me, those trips are amazing and humbling. I was in the room when John signed into a bill in Paraguay that his curriculum would go into, all the school system. And again, there's a very small group of people in this room, 18 people with some of the president's cabinet, and I'm in the room. It just doesn't make sense. And just truly, truly humbling to be a part of those experiences.
Yes, thank you. So I'm just thinking about the trajectory of, that first conference from T.D. Jakes, right, to John Maxwell, to the presidential palace in Paraguay. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And to your point, you're not at the pinnacle yet. Okay, so there's more, right? There's more of that mountain for you. More. All right. So, Chris, can I ask you a little bit about your family? I know that, all of the things that we've been talking about in terms of your work and, being at the helm of this incredible organization are hugely important to you. And I just wonder about, your family and how you find time for them and, what your family means to you as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's not finding time for the family. There's too many of them for me to have to find time. I've got 6 kids. Yeah. I've got 11-year-old triplets, a 7-year-old, and 4-year-old twin girls. And so there's no finding time. It starts with them, as the foundation. And I think that's another big misconception that people have is that you have to forsake your family, in order to be in pursuit of business. And I can say that my experience has been quite contrary to that. Everything that I've done with my business, I've built my business around my lifestyle and my family versus being opposite. And then now everything's focused around the business and then it's my family. So I think putting them first has really been critical. Like I said, I don't really feel like I had a choice to not put them first just because of the sheer size of our family. But I've always built the business around my lifestyle, not my lifestyle around the business.
Good advice. Good advice. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I know that there's so many, things that you could devote your life force energy to, that you could give your gifting to, lots of things to choose from. And, there are a lot of good causes out there as well, Chris. So how do you find the right one? And how do you know, where to start to make a difference?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of great causes, but I think part of it is feeling that calling towards that. For me personally, I don't feel like I'm fully committed to a cause right now. It's exploratory. There's a lot of things that I support and I get behind. But I think when we talk about getting behind causes, it's typically, something personal that has impacted us, that really triggered us to go all out for some particular type of cause is because of our experience. And I can't say that I've had some significant experiences in life that gets me behind things, but I still have not yet experienced that thing that just goes, this is my cause. As I know right now, my calling, not my cause. I know my calling is to impact and developing people. But to say that, hey, I'm 100% behind a cause and I'm dedicating my life to that, I'm still in search for that. I can talk about a recent, if we want to go a little bit non-evergreen incident that occurred with a recent incident that's in the news with the young gentleman that was killed in the Georgia area, Ahmaud Arbery. And, that one, I stay away from, political and racial things, but watching that and seeing the video live, social media and that happening, that's something that triggered something for me going, man, that could be me just jogging through a neighborhood and being misidentified. And so that has a little bit of tugging on me. I don't use social media a lot. I changed my profile pic to his during that time. And I don't change my profile for anything. I post, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, but that triggered something inside that truly would have an impact on me in our justice system.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And, that takes me back to Judge Pelican. Yeah. You could be dead or you could be in jail. And the truth is, unfortunately, at this time in our history, that is so true for a lot of, people of color, especially men of color. So thank you for bringing that into the conversation, Chris. That's keeping it real. Keeping it real.
That's right.
So I am, that, my focus is making a difference, being the difference. And it doesn't matter if it's written across the sky. It can be something that just makes a difference in one person's life. And that person could be you, right? And so my own belief is that we create our footprint. We leave a trace of ourselves wherever we go. I call that legacy. And so I know that this is a huge question, but I'm just wondering for you, what trace do you try to leave with people when you are with them? What's the fragrance you want to leave behind?
Well, if you had to say a sentence at my funeral, it would be this: Chris impacted my life by the lessons that he taught and the life that he lived. So again, going back to being a part of the product, I want people to know or to be able to say, hey, that Chris taught this, but he also lived this. He wasn't just a speaker of this, but he was a model of this. And so for me, that's what I want to leave behind with people is, hey, look, he is a product of the product, and he's a doer of what he teaches. Nothing could be more significant to me.
All right. Thank you. You walk your talk. You live your talk. So, Chris, are you working on anything right now, major project that you can talk about that you'd like to share with our listeners?
That's correct, that I can talk about. Currently right now, nothing that I can talk about at this moment. But more importantly, it's the growing and development of the John Maxwell team. It's so important to me, and my number one focus, is I want to continue to create a space to help people grow and develop in speaking, coaching, and training. And so right now, I've got a ton of stuff in the works for John Maxwell team as we continue to grow and develop the tools and resources available for all of our members involved.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Chris, I know that we didn't plan to talk about this particular element, but I know you can talk about it easily. So could you just tell our listeners, I talk about the John Maxwell team on this podcast, but I would love to hear from your words, what it means to you. What, put a face on those 30,000 people. What does that mean?
For me, what it meant was it provided a community of like-minded people that were going in the direction I wanted to go. Being a part of the John Maxwell team, we certify speakers, coaches, and trainers, and we truly help people with personal growth and development. And when I got engaged inside the community, I found my people. Like, these were people that wanted to learn. These were people that wanted to grow. These were people that didn't think it was crazy to get paid to speak. They believed that they could too. And it provided me the tools, the resources, and the people that allowed for me to grow to who I am today. So I'm here today as a result of you, and your example, and your impact. I'm here today as a result of so many other team members that I was able to meet with, connect with, and grow. Outside of of my home. Because a lot of people sitting at home right now, their circle of influence is really faltering them from getting where they want to go. You may not have a supportive spouse. You may not have a supportive family. So what's that mean? You got to get around people that are going to encourage you, build you, and believe in your dream. And for me, that was the John Maxwell team. So you guys are looking for a community? Hey, we're here for you.
All right. All right. Well, thanks so much, Chris. And so I just want to thank you again for being my guest. This has been amazing. I'm just humbled and so grateful, really, to have met you. I remember our first meeting down in West Palm Beach. I was at your table. I was in the room. And just to see where you have taken your dream and your struggles and now your success and your significance in adding value to people over and over and over again. We have 150 some countries, 60 some countries.
Yeah.
I don't want to exaggerate because there are only 200 countries in the world.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So any final thoughts or pearls of wisdom you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, for all those that are listening, look, I know your current circumstances may line up with where you desire to be right now, but I want to encourage you that, with the right knowledge, with doing something with that knowledge, with coaching and mentoring, you can be, do, and have what you want. And so if I can do it, average old me, anybody can do it. So I want to encourage you, get in pursuit of your dream, your passion, your calling.
All right. Hallelujah. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
So inspiring. Thank you again, Chris. This is just solid gold. Clearly, Chris Robinson is a leader's leader. He makes a difference in his own life and in the lives of so many others, in his own family and throughout the world in his work as the Executive Vice President of Maxwell Entrepreneurial Solutions. As I mentioned earlier, Chris leads a worldwide team of over 30,000 speakers, coaches, and trainers from over 150 countries. To learn more about Chris's work with the John Maxwell Enterprise, you can go to this website. It's thejohnmaxwellteam.com. I'm going to repeat that. The website is thejohnmaxwellteam.com. You can also sign up for A Minute with Maxwell to receive daily coaching videos with John Maxwell himself. And you can sign up for those videos on the website that I just gave you. How cool is that? If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Gloria, and this is Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. We just heard from my very special guest, Chris Robinson, Executive Vice President of the Maxwell Entrepreneurial Solutions. If you want to make your life count, if you want to be the change that you seek, be sure to listen to this show again and again, and be sure to tell somebody. Now, you can find me right here on iTunes, Alexa, SoundCloud, Spreaker.com, Talk Network Radio, and so many other places. So be sure to tune in again next week. Now, before I close today's show, I just want to give a shout out to all the women, men, and our young people all around the world, because you know what? We are the ones. We are the ones we have been waiting for. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, don't wait for someone else to step up and make things happen. Because guess what? They might not step up. In fact, they might not even know you're there waiting for them to do something for you. But you can be the one. In fact, can I just tell you something? You are the one. You are the one who can make a difference in your own life so that you can make a difference in the lives of others. It is truly amazing how much impact we have as leaders in the workplace, and even in our own homes, especially in our own homes. That's where it all begins.